Hello, welcome to the Lowdown. In lieu of a written blog this month, we thought we would do a video. So we're going to interview Patrick Moeller with Indiana Small Business Development Center. How are you doing, Patrick?
Good morning, Mark. How are you today?
Doing very well. So tell us a little bit about yourself, Patrick.
I'm the business advisor for Tippecanoe County, part of the Hoosier Heartland region of the Indiana Small Business Development Center.
Oh, sure. Fantastic. What's your background?
My background is pretty vast. It's in production management, it's in human resources, training, business development.
That's fantastic. So what is the ISBDC?
The ISBDC is a office located in Indianapolis with regions throughout the state. We're a government-funded organization that helps with new startups on businesses. We help grow existing business and get entrepreneurs up and running.
Oh, that sounds like a great job every day to go in and help entrepreneurs get started.
It's exciting. You meet a lot of great people. People come in with a lot of passion and energy, and it's pretty contagious.
Yeah. So how does the ISBDC help entrepreneurs and business owners?
We walk them through the steps involved in launching a new business, from selecting a name, getting it registered online, going through the important steps like developing a business plan, cash flow projections, market research. They have some homework, we have some homework, and we meet numerous times to get them to where they're ready to be up and running.
So tell me a little bit about that process. What would a business owner expect to experience on the very first day that they contact you and have that meeting?
Well, the way it works is the initial contact, the initial meeting is arranged when they go online, and we'll talk about that here shortly.
Sure.
But we'll have an initial meeting. We'll get to know each other. We'll find out what kind of service they can expect from us, what it is that they're trying to launch, what type of business. And we just go through the steps, including the business plan and cash flow projections and some of that, to get them up and running and prepare them for lending if they are someone that needs to take on a loan.
So you mentioned earlier that you give them some homework. What type of homework will they be doing?
Well, they have homework, and I have some myself as well. Their homework will be to go online and register their name with the Secretary of State, to start on the business plan, and I give them templates on developing that business plan, going through the cash flow projections, which really tell them whether or not they need to take a business loan or if they're able to get started without that. And we come back together and we look at their homework. They look at what I had to do, which is pretty much the market research, running some reports that tell them a little bit about the neighborhoods that they're trying to attract their customers from, what the competition's doing. We have a vast database that it's part of the fun part of my job.
Sure.
To help them that way.
So you mentioned starting or using templates for the business plan. How important do you think a business plan is for a startup?
Oh, it's vital. A lot of good entrepreneurs come in and they've spent a lot of time thinking about their business, but when they go through this business plan, and it's several pages long, they always come back and say, I didn't realize I needed to do this, or I didn't think that was important. But man, that business plan is vital. It really helps them make good decisions on whether or not they're ready to take on a business, or what steps they need to take to be better prepared for the business.
Yeah, that's I've noticed that myself when we've worked with businesses. If we've actually developed the plan, you get a better picture of what your business should be doing, what your role is in the business. That's fantastic. How can they use those reports that you give them? What type of information are they going to get, and how can they use that in developing their business plan?
Well, marketing is so important on the success of the business. We can run reports that will dig into the competition,
Sure.
identify their strengths and weaknesses. It's all a matter of public record. There's no hacking going on here by any means. We can find out the number of employees that an existing competitor is employing, what their annual sales are, where they're located, what kind of square footage they have in their facility. It really helps the entrepreneur look and helps them locate their business. They may decide to move their business somewhere else in the region. It maybe it's across town, maybe it's in another town. Our region, the Hoosier Heartland region, is 12 counties long and wide. We stretch from Williamsport to Logansport to Delphi to Kokomo. Well, the Kokomo region is part of ours. West Lafayette, Lafayette, Fowler, Crawfordsville, and so on. So we can help them throughout our entire region, and for that matter, we have some that actually cross over into another region, and we share that work with some of the other areas as well.
That's fantastic. So they get reports that will show them where their customers are located, or potential customers, and where their competitors are, and what their competitors are doing as far as revenue, and what they're paying. They're even paying their employees, correct?
That's true. We can also get into how much money they're spending on their advertising, what kind of marketing they're doing, and it's real important as you do the business plan. It asks you for the strengths and weaknesses of your competition, and this helps them complete the business plan.
So on average, Patrick, how many meetings do you conduct with an entrepreneur or startup person?
It'll be anywhere from 1 to a dozen. We'll have some that are coming in for the first time, and we meet with them, and they decide they're not ready to take on a venture like this, and we'll have some that carry the ball all the way across the goal line there, and we're able to see them up and running. And there's several steps involved between that first and that actual startup,
Sure.
and so it takes a number of meetings. But we have some flexibility on where we can meet. We can meet at Purdue West, which is one of our offices here in town, or the great GLC where we are today.
Yeah.
Or down the street at Matchbox. So we're conveniently located. We can work with entrepreneurs on where to meet, when to meet, and so on.
That's fantastic. So you've got several places you can meet, one of them being right here at Greater Lafayette Commerce. I guess the big question is, what are you going to charge someone that comes into you and wants this information?
We don't charge anything. It's a non-for-profit organization. There's no fees, which is very attractive to a lot of people coming in that are thinking
Absolutely.
about spending a lot of money. They don't want any more additional costs than they need to take on at that point. So it's a great service that we provide free of charge, and that gets people revved up, that's for sure.
Fantastic, Patrick. So last thing I want to ask is, for anyone out there who's got a business rattling around in their mind, how do they get a hold of you, and what are the steps to set up the first meeting?
Okay, great question. nbiz.in.gov is the Indiana site that you can go to. That will direct them to the ISBDC.org, which they can fill out a business survey, and it sounds a lot longer than it is. It's really contact information and the questions on what kind of business they want to open up and how can we help them. That's routed throughout the state. It goes to the region closest to where they live. And for ours, of course, it's the Hoosier Heartland. And they get a hold of a lady named Ruth Johnston, who makes the initial meeting. She sets up for Monty Henderson, myself, Lita Rouser, and in Kokomo, the initial meeting.
So does Ruth reach out with a phone call or email, or?
She can do both. The contact information that's asked for in that business survey, she has access to both the email and the phone number. They can direct the call to her, or she can call them. And as we have, we're going to show here shortly, the phone number is 765-454-7922, and that's a Kokomo phone number, but she schedules all of the Hoosier Heartland region.
Fantastic. And then how long does it usually before they actually sit down with you? After they fill out the survey, and then how long before they actually get that meeting?
Usually it's a day, 2, 3, or so forth. I've actually had some that have filled it out in the morning, and I met with them in the afternoon.
So it's a very, very quick process.
It's a pretty quick turnaround. Ruth does a great job of scheduling for us, and so seldom does it extend past a week.
Okay. Fantastic, Patrick. Well, thank you for sitting down with me and providing this information. And anyone out there who's interested in starting a business, make sure you click the link or call the phone number. Again, what's that number?
765-454-7922. Mark, thank you for having me today.
Yeah. And thank you.